And I just have always had that good balance. Like, yes, I want to do all the cool stuff. I want to do all the fun stuff, but how does this support the goals? Like, I don't move in one way or the other without considering how it impacts both. And conversely, I have clients that as much as I can balance that, you still may have C-suite executives that are like, no, like all of this needs to drive sales. And it's like, okay, well,
sit back and relax and get ready for another exclusive episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast with Lopez.
This episode is brought to you by the best AI software online called Goody. That's Goody. Goody will help you create all content for your blogs, websites, newsletters, articles, ads, and even pictures. LinkedIn posts, Twitter, you name it. All you got to do is go to lopezthesane.com/Goody. That's Goody. And the best part about Goody is absolutely free. That's right. It's free for the first 7 days. You can cancel at any time. Goody will help you create all your contents for your blogs and websites online. And it's 100% absolutely free, full access for the first 7 days. All you got to do, just go to my website. That's lopezthesane.com/Goody. That's Goody. Or just click the link in the show notes and get started today. Welcome to another episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast. I'm your host, Lopez. So like and share this episode. And P.S. by the way, any questions, any topics you would like me to talk about, send all your emails to support@kingofcashflowwebsites.com. That's support@kingofcashflowwebsites.com, or just click the link below. So with that being said, I have another special guest today. I know I always said, but today I really do have a special guest. If you ever wanted to know what it takes to start a digital marketing agency, my guest today has done exactly that. Not only has she done it on a high level. She's taken things to the next level. She's the founder and CEO of brndMethod, a creative agency that helps businesses elevate their online brand presence through strategic digital experiences. She has a proven track record for over 2 decades of helping people with her marketing experience. And she has a MBA specializing in marketing. My special guest today is Kelli. Kelli, welcome to the show. So, where are you from?
I'm originally from Los Angeles, but we moved to Atlanta when I was probably in 10th grade. And then shortly after that, about 2 years later, I graduated from high school and went to college in Florida. And then I moved to New York, and then I moved back to Atlanta.
Gotcha. So how'd you get into marketing, especially in the online world,
Yeah. So I started my career in traditional public relations. That was my job in New York. So this is pre-social media, so to speak, 2002, 2003. And I took to the idea of delivering a message. That was what resonated with me most. And as digital started to come more into play, I pivoted my entire business from traditional PR to marketing. I just love the autonomy of it. It seemed to be what all of my PR clients wanted, but you just had so much more control. If you wanted to put out a campaign, you could put out a campaign. You'd have to wait for someone in the editorial world to pick it up. And I was just very, very drawn to that.
So how did you get into PR? Because, being in a city like New York, I would think that there would be a whole lot of agencies for that line of work.
Listen, I fell into PR. I was a receptionist for Faded Glory, the Walmart brand. I knew nothing about PR. I didn't even know it was a job. But I was very, very curious. I was a new graduate. I was living in my dream city, trying to make it into fashion. And they had a PR person working there, and she took me under her wing and she taught me everything. There was no reality TV, nothing that highlighted that this was a job. I was literally just taking every opportunity that came my way, and being at the front desk, you interacted with everybody. And she showed me the ropes, and she would say, hey, do you want to go to an editor lunch? I'm like, yeah, I want to go. I don't know what that is, but yeah, I want to go to an editor lunch. Let's go. And so I really learned how, that was my first introduction to communications. And then I just kind of segued into more traditional marketing roles, and then on to digital.
Oh, man. So how did you get into fashion, and how was that transition from?
Yeah, I wanted to be during my undergrad. I went to school for business. Okay. I didn't really know what that meant or what I was going to do. And then my last year, my final semester, actually, I took a class of marketing. I was like, oh my God, this is like it. This is what I've been wanting to do my whole time here. And I took a trip to New York with a girlfriend of mine, and I was like, I'm going to FIT. I want to work in fashion. I want to be a designer. I want to be a buyer. Those were the only two jobs I knew existed at the time. And so I just set my sights on getting to New York. I would figure out the rest later. And I ended up getting a role in marketing or public relations at the time. And on the side, I would sneak into Fashion Week. This was a long time ago. You could do that back then. It was not as nearly as much security. And I just kind of stayed in that world of an appreciation for fashion, beauty, mixed with the business side of marketing.
Yeah, that's nice. Because I'm into fashion too. That's why I asked that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I like.
It's exciting. It's dynamic.
Yeah, it is. So, I mean, how before you came online, there's like I've been online for a long time, over almost 20 years now. Mm-hmm. But even still to this day, there's a lot of people that they don't want anything to do online. They don't want to be on videos. They're kind of skeptical when it comes to pictures. People ask, hey, what you gonna do with that picture? Because even if I ask 2 weeks ago, I asked my brother, hey, why don't you come on my podcast? Because you've been in business for a long time, doing what you've been doing, right? And he's very skeptical, I don't know, but the videos, bro. So did you have any of those setbacks about being on camera and being on YouTube and any of that stuff?
No, I did not. I'm not sure why. I'm a very, very introverted person. I used to hate to speak in front of people, all that type of stuff. I do think that moving to a city like New York during my early adulthood years definitely changed whatever idea I had about, shrinking or not being seen. I realized very early on of being there, you have to be seen and you have to be heard to get what you want. Not in a bad way, but if you don't show up, speak up, you're not going to make moves in anything. It doesn't make corporate, creative, it doesn't matter. If you don't show up and speak up, you're not going to get the things that you want. And so during my time there, I was about 23 at the time, 22, 23 at the time. I just took that and I ran with it, and it has stayed with me as I navigate the communications world. So, even if I have clients that I have to tell them, listen, this is an attention economy. If you don't want to show up, somebody needs to be representing and be visible. This is what gets attention. And I practice that myself. And I don't really have many reservations about it. It's just, to me, part of the job.
Yeah, that's how I see it, but I mean, and plus, I think the biggest thing for me at the time is I just had to get used to talking to a camera. It was like the one-way communication thing. That was weird in the beginning, but I never had any setbacks or anything when I first came online. The camera, and plus, through my childhood, I was always speaking in front of people.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah.
That was not.
Doing like for church and school and presentations in college. So I was. Now I'm not saying that I love it, but I just got used to it. Yeah, I just got used to it. But the only difference is being on is when you're doing a recording, you don't have an audience, so you don't really know. Yeah. You can't really engage an audience and see how people are responding in real time. You have to do a little research and ask questions, or hopefully you have a newsletter or email list or something like that. That's the big difference online, but that's like the main thing that I had to get used to, Yeah. So what made you want to start an agency?
Well, I felt like I had a fresh perspective creatively, and I also had a really good anchor in business. So sometimes, with creative jobs or something, it can be difficult for creative people that are naturally creative to keep in mind the bottom line. And I just have always had that good balance. Like, yes, I want to do all the cool stuff. I want to do all the fun stuff, but how does this support the goals? Like, I don't move in one way or the other without considering how it impacts both. And conversely, I have clients that as much as I can balance that, you still may have C-suite executives that are like, no, like all of this needs to drive sales. And it's like, okay, well, hold on a second. Marketing supports sales, but it's not sales. It's not the same thing. And so there's a lot that happens between somebody seeing a post that you did, even on LinkedIn, and closing them as a customer or a client. It's not click and then you just get the sale. Like, maybe if you're an e-com brand, it's a shorter sales cycle, but I'm talking about B2B clients and they know they have 9-month sales cycles, and they're like, well, we didn't get any sales from LinkedIn this month. And it's like, well, no, because it's a process still. I think I've always had a good handle on it, even though, there are some clients that give pushback. The clients that we do have and that support us, that's what they value the most. They don't just have this creative team that's running with it, like with no regard of how it's impacting business.
Yeah, I've had similar experiences like that with a lot of people. I always tell people, if you have good marketing, you won't have to sell so hard, and then hopefully you always have the same people, Maybe you have followers online, or maybe you have followers offline, but hopefully majority of those people will stick around and you won't have to sell so hard. And you can continuously have sales off the same people. I always tell people that.
And further, another point that I usually make, and it most often resonates with people, is like, if you look at the data, so now we're back to your numbers. If you look at the data and the amount of time people are spending on these platforms, it makes for a compelling case that you need to be present on these platforms. You can't deny that data. You personally gripe about it. Everybody's spending so much, everybody's on their phones. You need to be on their phone. What does that mean? You're living it in real time. Like, you're watching people, or you're watching your family, or you're watching your colleagues. And you also have this data that says people are spending obscene amounts of time on LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, what have you. So then where do you think you need to show up?
Yeah, and a lot of businesses, big businesses mainly, a lot of them want things fast. I'm like, no, this is an ongoing thing. This is not like a hit and miss. This is this is an ongoing thing. It never stops. You got to keep doing it.
No.
You know, a lot
because
of times,
there's always somebody else. There's always another brand or something else to take that attention away. So, you know, I don't know. I used to follow Gary Vee quite a bit back in the day, and I still have respect for him. But one of the things that he said that always resonated, you're not just competing with other marketing agencies. You're competing with every brand that buys attention in the feed. That's all of them. So if you're not up to bat and you're not playing and you're not visible and you're not present, then it's a whole bunch of other people taking that attention away. So you have to show up and you have to get in there.
Yeah, I like Gary Vee, but I think a lot of times, a lot of people take things out of context that he says. It's like when he says, you got to hustle. People kind of ran with that and people are staying up 24 hours. No, no, that's not what he meant.
No. I think people like to, especially when I was following him very, very hard, they like to demonize what he's saying for whatever reason. Either they take it too literal or they go on the other end and say, you're trying to make people into robots and like soulless and not have family and life. And that's never been what he's saying. And no matter how many times he came out and said and like addressed it, guys, I am not suggesting you don't sleep. I am saying if you want X, Y, and Z, then you have to do the work to get X, Y, and Z. If you don't want that, then you don't have to do that. But I think, it's just the nature of social and how people kind of get this mob mentality and they just kind of pile on to stuff. But he hasn't been wrong.
No, I haven't heard him say. Yeah, I haven't heard him say anything that was off or.
People just don't like it. I don't think they like his delivery. Yeah. I don't think they like, his focus and his dedication to what he's passionate about. I think that bothers people.
Yeah. So what type of businesses or areas do you focus on?
So we're going on 6 years of business. We've worked with several B2B businesses in consulting, real estate. We are now opening up to D2C brands, so fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and really just working with brands that want to maximize their e-com presence because, again, these things change so much. So sometimes when you're not in the marketing world, people will look and they'll say, oh, well, such and such was able to grow their brand in a year. Okay, but that was 3 years ago when attention was different. You have to do more today. You cannot rely on what your competitor did 3 years ago to scale. It's a whole new ball game. So you have to do differently. You have to be more creative. And you have to figure out how to harness the attention. And it's not easy. You can't just show up and expect to get sales. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that thing I ran into that a lot. People want things fast and
they do.
And as much automation as possible. I'm like, hey man, it's not gonna. You have to do something now. It's like,
and it's a process.
Yeah,
it's a process, and you have to have a strategy. That's the other big thing. I think again because the nature of social is everybody has a phone, everybody can go and log on and post something. Well, yes, that's absolutely true. But if you are posting or you have your niece or nephew posting or your receptionist or whoever you have delegated this to in a passive way, and they're doing all this with no strategy, well, of course you didn't see results. What was the goal? What was the plan? Are you retargeting? Are you like, what were you? Oh, well, we've been posting with no strategy, so you get no results.
Exactly. Yeah. So, with you working in New York with this PR firm and everything, what made you say, "Hey, you know what? I'm about to start my own thing"? What gave you the confidence to do that?
Oh, probably very naive. I think just a lot of ambition. I moved back. I left New York in 2006 to come back to Atlanta to take care of my mother. She was ill. And she passed, and I made a decision, and I said, well, I could, pack up and go back, or I could stay here and try entrepreneurship. I never considered trying entrepreneurship in New York. I just felt like it would be too difficult to maintain a decent lifestyle. It's just very expensive. So I said, okay, I'm going to stay in Atlanta and try this. And, I like the idea of creating something from nothing. I like creative autonomy. And while client, you can't just do whatever you want, you have to answer to the client. You at least are presenting, and ideally your suggestions are heard. And so you can bring something to fruition that you feel is of value from all your expertise, all your experience. As an agency, as a marketing professional, I'm in these platforms all the time. So I have all this data. So a brand comes to me and they say, we want to do this, the wheels start turning. Sometimes if you're internal, you don't have that much freedom. You got to play by corporate rules and placate people. And, it just is not the same.
Yeah, that's true. I've had those jobs.
Yeah.
I worked at Bank of America for 8 years. I had those jobs.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of structure, and it's not a lot of room for flexibility there at all.
No.
Yeah.
And I don't, that doesn't resonate with me. I don't expect anyone, client or company, to just let, me or the marketing team go buck wild. But at the same time, I thrive better when I'm trusted in my expertise and not when I'm stifled, or when you come to me and you say, well, we've never done it like that, so we're not going to do it. So you just want to stay stale. You just want to stay the same. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So how did the podcast come about?
So the podcast came about because I felt like it would be very interesting to hear more about the thought process and the strategy behind so much that's happening in this industry. It's changing all the time, especially this year, with AI being integrated into everything. There's no industry that's not impacted. It doesn't matter how creative or how mundane or how, it's all being impacted. So I'm really, really interested in seeing like how that plays into driving brand growth and what that looks like. Are people, sometimes you come into contact with people and they're like, no, we don't integrate AI at all. And it's like, okay, well, not at all. Like, you're just going to be left behind. You're not even seeing how it can be used. So I'm really interested in those conversations. I think, it's a topic for most people, and I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, you have 29 episodes. Yeah, yeah. I like connecting with people that way, and I feel like when you give others a platform to tell not only their story, but like what is some of the behind the scenes that's going on, it creates context for them. Yeah. And it sheds a different light. I don't know if you're familiar with How I Built This, the podcast, NPR's How I Built This. I used to just scroll through, and it, based on title alone, it gives you these are mostly companies we've all heard of. So to give you the name of the company and then the name of the person, and it's about their story. I would always think I'm never going to be interested, but the way the conversation flows, it's always interesting. It doesn't matter what the company is. And hats off to the team that produced over there. But again, to my point, it creates this different type of connection and context for a brand that you've maybe only seen in the stores. Yeah, I agree 100%, So if people want to work with you, where would they go to?
Yes, so definitely connect with us at brndMethod.com. We're also on Instagram and LinkedIn. We trying to get better on TikTok. We'll get there. But definitely connect. And, reach out if you have any questions.
There you have it. Like, share this episode. All links will be found in the show notes. Until next time, we're out. Peace.